fast forward to this fall that would just pass, and I realized I'm crashing. I felt like a B-52.
You were saying you saw something. Oh, because I kind of cut you off, but you were talking about seeing the program where they show addicted people. What's that program called?
Intervention.
You were watching Intervention.
Back when I first got wounded in 07. And that's when I realized I was addicted to the pills, but not addicted like, I need a pill. It was like my body would just start reacting, and I would be like, oh, I'm itchy for some reason. And then that's when I started easing off. And I never took a pill after Father's Day 2011. But even that, you read the book. Mm-hmm. I ended up buying pills from a guy in an alley once, and I went, what the fuck is it? Like, and the system is treating me like an asshole because I want more pills? And then they're like, yeah, if you want more pills, you got to come to the hospital every day to get your dose. I'm like, well, I'm not a fucking junkie, doc. I just don't, the dose you're giving me isn't enough to keep me from feeling like shit. And then I'm mitigating my stress with the pills. So maybe, okay, so go to more therapy. And that's when I started rebuilding in 2011. So come the fall, I'm still not on my legs.
This is 2011?
2011 is when I quit the pills.
Got it.
And that's why I thought booze wouldn't be a problem. Cigarettes aren't a problem. Booze isn't a problem.
You'd
pills
quit
aren't a problem.
booze. I mean, you'd quit pills.
Yeah, whatever.
You'd quit cigarettes.
It was like a whatever.
When the time comes for you to quit booze, you'll just quit. That's what you were thinking.
When I'm ready, I'll be done with it.
Got it.
But what happened, and if you're a politician, the most important thing, federal, state, municipal, so in Canada, state would be provincial, budget. Money. Money is the big thing that everybody worries about in private life and everything else. So
wait, when are we talking about right now?
Sorry.
You're already back. You're back.
I know. I'm bouncing around a little bit. I'm just saying, in my mind, 2017 wasn't that big a deal as far as the drinking, because I'd kicked all these other habits, and whether it's real or not, I had an army psychologist once tell me I had an anti-addictive personality, because I guess like to me, it's like, okay, well, what's going to help me function better? What's going to get me to the next day without too many issues? And if I want to have a few drinks, I'm going to have a few drinks. And I can, because tomorrow morning, I don't have to be anywhere until 9 a.m. anyway. So whatever, if I'm a little hungover when I get there, I'll have a coffee and a glass of water. Or Gatorade and an Advil. Not a big deal. Fast forward to, again, my daughter's birthday last fall. Oh, Daddy can't be there yet because I'm still hungover, right? I got my it was when I realized I'm going through. I was like, I felt this before, because I kept asking myself, why do I keep screwing everything up? And then the budgets process started. That's where I was going with this, and that's where I remembered I'm not, because Jocko, you're not a private citizen anymore. You know that, right?
What do you mean?
Well, if you fell off Instagram tomorrow, there's a million people out there that'd probably be like, well, where the fuck is Jocko? And I was posting less. I was being less upbeat in what I did post. The last couple podcasts, even going back to the spring, on one of them, we got loaded. And we said it was for fun, but I needed a drink myself. And I'm starting to miss budget. And budget is money. That's what everything runs on. The city of Ottawa has a $3.5 billion budget. Why isn't Councillor Mitic at the budget meeting for the Community Protective Services Committee? Community Protective Services Committee. Oh, he's not feeling well. His legs are bugging him, stuff like whatever my staff said. They're asking me, what's going on, boss? And I'm like, yeah, I need you to buy me some time. But that's when the media and the voter goes, no. We get it. You like to write books, and you like to do podcasts, and you like to shoot guns, and you're a dude, and we accept you as who you are. But our 4-year commitment, the biggest part of that commitment is making sure the money is spent properly and on the things that we want it spent on. And we elected you to be that voice. Why aren't you at that meeting? And personal private matters can only get you so far during like the most important part of your job, right? Well, either go on medical leave or be at the meeting is basically what I was told, right? Get a doctor's note or be here. And that's when I ended up doing that radio interview in December, when it really came to a head, and when I had to really admit to myself, like, I think I was, in my mind, I was borderline alcoholic, I guess. But I was just not able to deal with that failure in myself. Like,
how much were you drinking?
At the peak, it was a 40 ounce of whatever I get my hands on. Sometimes it was like remember one time it was 2 26-ounce bottles of rye Crown Royal was my brand of choice, and if that wasn't around, again, Jack Daniels.
And you're drinking. You're getting done with work, and that's it. You just
no.
start
At this
drinking.
point, I'm just waking up in the morning and drinking.
Oh, okay. So
not even
it's
going to
on.
work. Like I knew in the morning I couldn't go, and then you feel like shit because you drank all day. So what do? You go for the hair of the dog, and that just turns into a perpetual circle. And then the wounds I was talking about earlier, they're not healing because my body's full of alcohol. And a friend of mine said, you know what? My dad used to have that problem because he drank too much too. And he would like cut his hand working on like woodwork in the shed, and it would be there for like 6, 8, 9 months, and then he'd sober up for a couple months, and then it would go away, but then he'd fall back. And I went, your dad, the maniac you've told me stories about? And she was like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, so this is really becoming a problem. So now I'm dealing with the internal struggle of I'm a complete failure of a human being. I've failed my kids. I've failed the voters. I've failed like friends of mine like Jocko and Echo who, you know, we expect certain things from each other, right? Or we think we do. And you could have a terrible day, and I would never judge you for it, but you don't know that until it happens, right? And even if you know that, you still don't want to admit it. Never mind to Jocko or Echo. How about to yourself, right? And again, I'd stopped meditating. I'd stopped going to my therapist. I'd stopped going to the gym. I'd stopped podcasting. I'd stopped writing, really, even though... And then during the book tour in October, and I know I'm rewinding a little bit, but the last thing I wanted to do was go on the book tour. But the book is coming out, and that's a commitment that I signed. And, you know, you're dealing with all this, and I did the tour in my wheelchair, and everybody's like, oh, you're doing so much better because you're okay with being in the wheelchair. And I was like, yeah, cool. Close the hotel room door and, like, open a drink, right? Have a drink. So... December was the worst month of my life. Getting blown up was easy, in my opinion, dealing with this shit. But what I didn't do in 2007 was actually deal with the fact that I was blown up, frankly. I was so like, yeah, recover, be useful to the regiment, be useful to the queen, get better for the country, put prosthetic legs on, life is normal-ish. And then now I'm like, okay, first of all, now, dude, you're 40. Second of all, you have kids that are now like, I would see them and they'd be like, we miss you. Like, where have you been? Like, why aren't you around more? And like, you don't live far away. Like, what's your excuse? Like, cause I'm ashamed of you seeing me all dealing with the next day of being drunk and stuff, you know? And it really became, I understand now. I've always been sympathetic to addicts since my Oxycontin days, but now I get how depression can really make you into someone not worth saving in your own mind. And I get it. And I've never thought hatefully or anything of friends that have committed suicide or have gone down that path of depression that you just, if you're not in it, you don't get it. And you go, man, why can't you just like read a book or listen to some comedy or not drink today? Like I'll sit with you and have a water, and like you just don't get it. And I was doing a lot of this on my self-isolation too, because you don't want anyone seeing you like this. And then the few people that do hang around are often in one of the levels of fuck up, of life fuck up. And so,
you know, I've talked about this before where, and it sounds like you're describing it exactly. I talk about how like people get into a place where they're basically in a storm, right? There's a storm all around their head, and no matter which direction they look, they just see clouds and thunder and rain and horror, right? And everybody that's outside that storm looks at them and they go, well, yeah, you're in a storm. Just come over here and you'll be out of the storm. Just move over here and you'll be out of the storm. Just put down the drink, or, you know, start working out again or whatever. You just move over here and you'll be out of the storm.
Yeah.
But that person can't see. They can't see the direction.
Not just that,
everything around them is a storm.
They don't understand how me coming over there is like climbing a mountain. And not to give anyone shit, but maybe a little bit of shit if you know who you are. Hey, man, want to watch UFC tonight? At my place? Yeah, cool, except, hey, bro, I'm in a wheelchair. I can't even get in your front door. Can you come to my place where I can get around and take a piss without getting out a water bottle and, you know, like being embarrassed in front of your wife? Yeah, but you live all the way over there. Like, we've already got plans and shit. Like, Well, cool. What about next weekend? That didn't help as well, because people, like, they don't, like, even coming here, you're like, oh, I'll just buddy carry you up the stairs, and I'm like, yeah, I trust you, but at the same time, like, some of my friends offering to carry me into their house are like 140 pounds, like soaking wet, never been lifted a weight in their life, and nothing against them, but it's like, you want me to trust my physical safety, or you could just come to my place. Like, and they don't get it, and I'm not mad at anyone about it. It's like that saying, like, I don't hate them about it, but at the same time, it's kind of like, all right, cool, man, I'll just watch the fight and we can text, and I'll be at my place alone again, right? Like, because even my dog isn't at the place where I'm at right now, right? So that all thing just kind of fell into a big blender, and in December,
how long did that? So did this when you got back in your wheelchair?
Yeah,
you gave up the legs.
This
really?
This is May.
So in May, when you, like I said, so you went on that long trip. You went to Albany. You come back from that. Now you're like, I'm done with my prosthetics. They're freaking killing me.
Yeah, and
I'm getting in a wheelchair. Back in the wheelchair. Is that sort of like now you're just gaining momentum, going downhill? But that's the crazy thing is I thought I'm starting to climb up because I'm like finally admitting I can't wear my prosthetics, because I would like walk into council, which is the big, like, every 2 weeks you do the big meeting, and that's where everything you went to the bar and drank about and then went to the office and like argued behind the scenes with each other. Now you sit down and you go, all those in favor, aye, all those against, nay, and then it's passed. Resolution passes, and now it's illegal to eat ice cream on Bank Street on Sundays, which is a bylaw in Ottawa that I'm going to actually try and get changed, by the way, from like 1800s. But the point is, that's the big show. Like, if all the other training, right, that's the live fire exercise, or that's the actual op, right? So that's what you work for. So when I started missing those at the end of the year, when we're like, the budget is the thing that, if without budget, you guys just had a government shutdown over budget. Yep.
That's what you're trying to avoid. And that's when the media, who, are doing their job, but Jody Mitic in a headline gets clicks, and now Jody Mitic, the guy everybody loves, oh, he's fucking up. What's going on here? One guy even made a video called No Show Mitic, because I'd missed like 4 or 5 meetings. But the meetings I'd missed were the ones out, like, you could miss every other meeting throughout the year and nobody would give a flying fuck of a rolling donut, which is a saying out of a series of books I love. But I miss these 3 meetings. Oh no, man. Like, these are the meetings we really voted for you to be at. Were you at No Show Mitic? And this guy is trying to make a name for himself as a political commentator, whatever. He's an asshole. But the point is, say that shit to my face. The point is, he's right though. Where is No Show Mitic? And now, because that's what I was in my head already. Right? And then I'm like, okay, so I thought if I said personal family matters or personal health matters, they get it. They know me. They know I've dealing with stuff along the way. But they're like, yeah, we get it, man. But if you don't tell us what's going on, then we're going to assume you're just fucking being lazy. Because why shouldn't we? And I went, okay.